Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome to Planet Alien. I hope you enjoy your stay on my planet. So, yeah, okay, get into this video. So, by the title, you already know it's Riverdale. But it's because I got asked a question, and I like to answer them and give my own thoughts. And I like when people ask me to make a certain YouTube video or a certain Twitter video because I like talking about Riverdale and I like giving my thoughts. And you guys are just so amazing that I will literally make any video you want. Well, depending, because some can be a little too much, but I really love you guys, so I want to do anything I can to give you what you want. So, my girl Anna said, what will happen to Barchie in the last episode of season 2 going into season 3? I just want to wonder how they're going to develop. I really miss them and how Archie was too protective of her. I mean, if Betty leaves with Jughead, I get how Archie's going to react and be heartbroken. So, what will happen to Barchie in the last episode of season 2 into season 3? Okay, so we all know that the triangle is supposed to start in episode 19. But we also heard, or at least I have heard, and many others have heard, that Archie breaks up with Veronica. Now, I don't know if this is because the episode 18, the musical, makes Archie realize that he really does have feelings for Betty, or it's Midge getting killed that makes him realize, like, wow, like, if I don't tell Betty how I feel now, I might never get the chance, so I don't really know, like, because Archie and Veronica apparently break up. But then there's also rumors that now have all heard that Bughead fans are going to be happy by the end of the season 2. The season finale, they're going to be happy. Now, us Barchie fans have been misled many times with this, we're going to be so happy. So, of course, I take it with a grain of salt. But then again, Bughead fans, like I said, this is my last video, do get treated better than Archie and Betty fans. It's just a fact. I mean, come on, you can't deny it. Bughead fans do get treated way better than us Barchie fans. Um, but you have, on one hand, you have that apparently the Black Hood takes Betty, because this is how I see it. If the Black Hood does take Betty in the season finale, which would make a ton more sense, there's the rumor that the Black Hood takes Betty and locks her in a room, because we all know that there was this locked room talked about long ago by the writers, and we all assumed, oh, maybe Archie and Betty get locked in the room and they have to talk about the kiss, or maybe Veronica and Betty get taken and they're locked in a room. But what if instead Betty is kidnapped by the Black Hood and he is the one who puts her in a locked room? So there's that one factor that the season 2 could end with the reveal of the Black Hood, which would be the best way to go. Because I think ending season 2 with finding out who the Black Hood is would be epic and perfect, because it's going to be someone that's going to leave you shocked, that it's just going to completely make you just see everything about Riverdale in a different way. Like, even the characters will just be beyond shocked. But then you have that also Betty runs away with Jughead. Now, I understand they're all getting evicted at there's an eviction notice. Of course they're getting evicted. They're building a prison. Yay, there. Like, I know I always do that, but I hate it. They're building a prison there, so everyone from the South Side is getting evicted, which, hello, I'm from the South Side. How are you gonna evict me? Honey, please. I ain't going nowhere. No. Um, but so they're going to be evicted. So there's rumors that Betty runs away with Jughead. But it's like, well, what about FP? Jughead and FP have a good relationship going on now. Like, where's FP gonna go? And then it's like, where are Betty and Jughead gonna go? I mean, they can't just exactly pick up and leave. And I mean, Chick has already, like, been kicked out, left her house. So she's okay to be in her house again. But at the same time, it brings back memories of the dead body and her helping clean it up and all that. So I don't blame her for looking at her house differently. But I would hope that the writers don't have Betty and Jughead run off together. If they did, I totally could see Archie chasing after Betty. And, like, I wrote this, and it's something that I wish would come true. Like, Betty Archie catches up to Betty and tells her, like, I have feelings for you, please don't go. And she decides to still go. She's like, I'm sorry, I have to go. I love Jughead. And then comes season 3, her and Jughead come back, and Betty has to face Archie, and it's not so cut and dry as she made it seem at the end of season 2. That is, if her and Jughead run away. Maybe Archie doesn't catch up to them, but I feel like it would be better if he did and then told her how he felt, and then maybe it ends with her kind of trying to figure out who she wants to be with. But then again, I think that's a little boring, so maybe they would have her be like, I'm sorry, I have to go with Jughead, I love him. And then season 3 comes and they come back, and it's like it's like Betty is kind of Archie. I feel like Archie maybe might be like, it's fine, whatever, I accept it. You love Jughead and stuff. And maybe Betty doesn't like that. Maybe she's like, oh, I kind of hoped he would fight for me a little more or something, maybe ever since he said he liked her, that she's been thinking about it, even though she's with Jughead. It is a possibility. But I feel like the best scenario for season 2, the finale, would be the Black Hood reveal. I just think that would be the biggest cliffhanger ending thing. Like, it would just tie it up very neatly, the storyline. And I just think it would be perfect if season 2 ended with the Black Hood being revealed and it possibly being Sheriff Keller. Because I feel like that would have such a big impact, especially since he is the sheriff of this town and he's killing people. But I'm just saying, if he is the Black Hood, I could totally see that. That is more of a possibility to me than Betty and Jughead running away. They have talked about it like Romeo and Juliet, except we live happily ever after. But, if they do run away, they're gonna be back by the end of the summer, because where can they go? They have no money, they have a motorcycle, that's it. Like, where are they gonna go? So, I do see that Betty could run off with Jughead and Archie could go after her, but I more see the Black Hood thing because we know with every season, there's only been one season, this is the second, but we know it shows they like to end the season with like a cliffhanger or something really shocking happening. And I think that's what they're going to do with season 2. Maybe the Black Hood reveal could happen and then Betty and Jughead could still run away and Archie could go after her. But I feel like it would be better if the Black Hood was revealed and that's how season 2 ended. Now, sorry, on to your question about. Let me just check because, I lose my train of thought. What will happen to Barchie in the last ep of season 2 into season 3? Okay, so like I talked about, a lot of these rumors and a lot of things being said about how the season finale is going to go. And what I think will happen with Barchie at the end of the season finale. Now, let me also start by saying I don't. There's a rumor that Archie breaks up with Veronica, which could very well be true. Some of these rumors tend to be true, others tend to not be, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. So Archie could be broken up with Veronica, like it's going around. You've heard that Archie breaks up with Veronica, and maybe he does. It would make sense. Things are getting really intense, so it would make sense. But so that leaves you to think that maybe the triangle's Archie, Betty, and Jughead. And maybe season 2, I think how Barchie ends season 2 is either Archie, Veronica, and Jughead go to save Betty from the Black Hood, and that's kind of how it ends, with them getting the Black Hood and maybe ending with them at Pop's Diner. Or I could see them getting the Black Hood and then Jughead and Betty deciding to leave, and then Archie going after Betty and telling her he likes her if he catches up to her, and her saying, I don't know if I could see her saying, I like you back. I could see her saying, I'm sorry, I gotta go. Like, I love Jughead. Like, I'm with him. But then come season 3, that's when I think the triangle, whether it be Archie, Betty, and Veronica, or Archie, Betty, and Jughead, it's definitely gonna be in season 3. I think season 3, I feel like episode 19 is gonna start the triangle. At least I hope so, because what I've heard, it makes it seem that way. So I'm hoping that it's true. So, with that being said, I could see the triangle start in the last bit of season two, and then going into season three, I could see the whole triangle playing out, and we seeing whether it's Betty who has to make a choice between Archie and Jughead, or it's Archie who has to make a choice between Betty and Veronica. And I could see that going out throughout the whole third season, and by the end of season three, I could see one of them, whoever has to make the decision who they want to be with, I could see them making it by the end of season three. And that leads into season four with these two people being a couple and figuring things out, especially if it's Archie and Betty who are best friends, they're figuring things out like, oh my God, if they got together, you know how beautiful it would be? Like, it'd be so awkward, but in a good way, like you're my best friend and now we're kissing kind of awkward, but I still like it, and like, oh, it'd just be so beautiful. But I definitely think the triangle's gonna be very front and center in season three. I mean, I'm not saying season three is gonna revolve around it, but I do think the triangle is gonna be very prominent in season three. And my personal opinion is I think by the end of season three, whoever has to make the decision who they want to be with is going to make it, unless the writers decide that they want to keep dragging this out, because a lot of shows will drag out triangles like the Vampire Diaries, Stefan, Elena, Damon, they dragged that out for a while. Um, so I know like they might want to drag it out, and I mean it could be until season six, and by the time we get Barchie. But I don't know. I don't see that happening. I feel like the triangle, yeah, it is a big part of it. But if the triangle turns out to be Betty, Archie, and Jughead, already right there, they're making a big difference from the comics, because the comics was Archie, Betty, and Veronica. So if it's going to be Betty, Archie, and Jughead, then they are making changes. So they might just take the season three to have this triangle develop, and then by the end of season three, someone makes a choice and they end up together, and that leads into season four, because I mean that's what I think. I mean I would hope that the writers wouldn't wait till like season 5 or 6 to have Archie and Betty finally get together, because I know a lot of times people are really nervous that, like, writers are really nervous that once they give these fans their couple, that they're going to get bored with the show now because they already got the couple, so they don't care. But that's not true in the Barchie case. Like, once we get Barchie, I will be replaying every scene of theirs, every gif, every picture. I will just be in total Barchie mode. Nothing else will get past me, just Barchie. But yeah, so I'm sorry this is rambling, but I know you want me to go into detail, so that's what I'm doing, because I have a lot to say. Because there's just so many different rumors, and there's just so many inconsistencies with what is being said and what is being shown, and you don't really know where season two finale is going. I just feel like the Black Hood reveal would be the perfect way to end season two, especially if it's Sheriff Keller. Like, I just feel like Sheriff Keller being the Black Hood would really be epic. Like, I mean, just knowing that this sheriff that people trust, that people hope will help, like, that people trust and that people believe in him and know that he's there to help them, turns out to be this Black Hood who is killing people. And innocent children, yeah, okay, they're doing drugs and they're having sex. Boo freaking who? There's bigger sins, and you're not doing shit about them. I'm not saying he is the Blackhead for sure, but I'm just saying. But yeah, I definitely see. I mean, I don't know how Barchie's going to end in season two. It could go with the Black Hood, or it could go with Jughead and Betty running away and Archie going after her, or it could go with both. But I do think that perhaps I do believe that maybe Archie does, if he does break up with Veronica, maybe he does confess his feelings to Betty. Maybe he does. And, she says, I love Jughead and stuff. But then come into season three, it's Betty's back and she has to see Archie. And, you know, I think it's not going to be just as easy. Like, I don't know. I just feel like Archie and Betty, I feel like there's not going to be like this big Barchie scene in the season finale. I don't think, anyways, because it doesn't seem like we ever get anything good like that very often. So I don't really see any big Barchie moments happening in this season finale. But I do see going into season 3 the triangle happening, and I do see more Archie and Betty scenes coming. So we do have that to look forward to. I just hope that the writers don't drag the triangle out or go from Archie, Betty, and Jughead to Archie, Betty, and Veronica to Archie and Betty to Veronica and Archie. I hope that once Betty or Archie, whoever makes their choice, I hope that they stay together. And it would make more sense that Archie and Betty choose each other in season 3, if that does happen in season 3, which I think it will, because then that opens the door for Jughead and Veronica. And Cammy even said, they have this weird kind of chemistry, which they do. And she even said they could possibly hook up like Joey and Pacey in season 3 of Dawson's Creek. So that kind of gives you insight to what's happening in season 3. Not that she knows, but just that being said, it's like, oh, that'd be interesting. So I could definitely see Archie and Betty becoming a thing maybe by the end of season 3 and going into season 4. And then possibly that leads to Jughead and Veronica developing this friendship and developing this common ground of, well, Betty chose Archie and Archie chose Betty, and that kind of thing. So I could definitely see Archie and Betty choosing each other, and then Jughead and Veronica getting closer because these people that they love chose someone else other than them. So that is what I think. I hope that answers your question. And yeah, so yes, I love talking about Barchie and Riverdale. So thank you for asking me to make this video. I loved it, and I hope it answered all your questions, and I hope you understood where I was coming from. And yes, so I will see you again.